welcome back to the Crypt, everyone. Thank you so much for being with me here tonight. We are going deep tonight, deep into the fucking murky waters, as they say. Yet another solo episode, so to speak, from the shelter-in-place situation that I think I saw a thing that said 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 fucking Americans or people on Earth or whatever are in a lockdown, quarantine, shelter-in-place situation. Fucking insane. Fucking insane. Either one of those numbers, whether 1 in 4 in the world or 1 in 4 just in the United States, it's fucking insane. But necessary. This shit is real. This shit is real, people. I know I said on this pod, this is one of those situations where you have to be an evolving individual. You have to be able to, you can't get married to any one specific idea here because nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And, my opinion of the situation has evolved dramatically from when it started. Full disclosure, when this started, I was like, every 2 years, right? Every fucking 2 years, the news has got to have a new disease to get everybody scared so they can pump up their viewers a little bit. Now, no, this one's different. This is a moment in history. This is a historical time that we are living through, unprecedented by far. And, I restarted during this whole shelter-in-place situation. I needed to fill my time with something, so I restarted playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because the first time I played it, I was just so, the first one, the story is so fucking in-depth and amazing that's what I wanted for my first playthrough of the second one was just basically a run-through of the story, and I didn't end up getting as much out of it as I wanted to. I didn't end up doing a lot of the side missions because I didn't know you couldn't go back, So I've been playing that, and I'm sitting there playing that game, watching the story and everything, and then thinking about the situation that we're all in right now. I'm just like, how, it certainly feels like we're far away from the time where everybody was on horseback, but how far away are we really? You know what I mean? I don't feel like we're really that far from that. And I really feel like, if nothing else, the COVID-19, has kind of exposed how kind of close to that we actually really are. You know what I mean? How fragile our system is. And, man, yeah, it is fucking crazy. I keep saying it, unprecedented. It's all unprecedented. And I guess maybe the reason why I keep going back to that word is because it's so rare for us to have something unprecedented now. You know what I mean? It's so rare for that to happen. This also, shows, I hope it opens people's eyes to what's really important. And it shows us that a lot of the things that we deal with on a daily basis are not that important. You know what I mean? Ultimately. And this is one of those situations where you get boiled down, right? You cut back on everything except for what is important. And ultimately what you find is the bare essentials, the family, the friends, and the particular things in the world that you love. For us, most of us here at Lost in the Dark Podcast, it's heavy metal music and TV shows and movies that we consider great. I was going to say great movies, great art, but they're really just stuff that we consider great. Not everybody considers Happy Gilmore or Tommy Boy the masterpiece that I do, personally. So, just as examples, I did for the first time watch Infinity War and Endgame back to back. You want to talk about going on a fucking ride? Jesus Christ, those movies are, you know, another fucking level. No fucking question. I wanted to get into, obviously some music news and stuff like that, but really, since the last time I talked to you guys, not much has happened. So I guess I'll just take care of some housekeeping. I said I was going to have an episode out early this week. I did not. What ended up happening was some things came up, and I also spent a lot of time sitting down working on the Ozzy Osbourne Ordinary Man episode of Dark Reflections, as well as getting to know the album Slow Death by Carnifex. I just got it, as well as the new Heaven Shall Burn of Trust and Sacrifice. I'm getting to know that one as well. And then just today, as of recording this, we had Testament released their Titan. I think it's Titan of the Gods of some Titans. I don't know. Their new album that I'm going to pick up a copy of that off Amazon tomorrow. Hopefully it arrives soon. Let's see what it's called. Titans of Creation. There we go. New one by Testament. They dropped a new single today too. Excellent. Every single off that album so far has been fucking awesome. So that's exciting. Definitely. I also, I don't know if I want to say this or not. I'm going to say it. I did receive an early copy of the Black Dahlia Murders Verminous. I am going to give nothing away. I don't even know if I want to tell you what I think of it. But I have it. I've heard it top to bottom 3 times now. 4 times maybe. I guess all I'll say for now. I'm gonna do a Dark Reflections, obviously. And me and Aaron are probably gonna have long conversations about this album on this podcast. But I'm not gonna, out of respect and the whole situation for everything going on, all I am going to say until release date April 17th is that I love it. And you have every right to be excited for it if you are. That's all I'm going to say. End of discussion. Verminous. End of discussion. It's gorgeous. End of discussion. All right. You know what? Here, let's kick this motherfucker off, right? All right. We're sitting here. You're listening to this probably in a shelter-in-place situation, or maybe not. Maybe you're an essential worker out there working, and if you are, thank you. Thank you very much. I worked the cash register. I was a cashier for 11 or 12 years of my life. And it is a very thankless job. It's a job that you often get yelled at for shit that you have nothing to do with. And the fact that they're getting some appreciation right now makes me happy. The fact that, I also stocked shelves. I also, I worked in stores, you know what I mean? And the fact that they're getting some appreciation now is, I think it's a good thing, as well as obviously medical workers, truck drivers, everybody that has to be out there right now to keep this shit moving, putting themselves in harm's way. Here's to you. You know what I'm saying, motherfuckers? Here is to you. Yeah. We couldn't do it without you. That's for goddamn sure. We couldn't do it without it. So let's kick this motherfucker off as with some gratitude. With some gratitude for all of those amazing humans that are out there right now. And cheers. And welcome to the show, everybody. Here we go. Rum. Who doesn't love some rum? Jesus Christ. Especially during quarantine. You been drinking a lot in quarantine? I probably have. What the fuck else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I'm trying to make podcasts. I'm trying to do episodes of Dark Reflections. Aaron and I are working on doing a Skype podcast, so hopefully we finally get one on video soon here. We're doing all kinds of things. We're trying to do everything we can. But it's also not easy. It's weird. It's weird, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird, like you tell someone, hey, you're gonna have 3 to 4 to who the fuck knows how many weeks off, and you have to stay at home. You think you're gonna dive into creativity, but when you wake up every day to a new death toll, you know what I mean, and realize the reality of the situation that we're all in, it's different. It's not a vacation, that's for goddamn sure. You know what I mean? It's very strange and very taxing on the psyche? I don't know. The soul? I don't know. It's very taxing, though. The weight is heavy right now. That's for sure. So, let's shake this shit up, shall we? You guys now for an episode. Well, a few episodes now have been listening to me yammer. I know I made some phone calls, and guess what? We're going to make another one right now. We are going to call guest of the podcast, also known as my sister, Catie Bargestock, down. She is down at the epicenter right now in Detroit, Michigan. That's where she lives. So we're gonna call and do a quarantine check on her, see how she's doing. Let's check in with my sister here. Been on the podcast many times. Talked about her. Oh.
What's up, big bro?
Oh shit! What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yep, all clear.
Cool.
All clear. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm all right up here. We're doing all right.
Yeah, that's good.
Fucking Detroit. Detroit seems a little scary right now.
It's a little bit of what they call in the biz a hot spot.
Yeah, that's what I understand. It's I guess to people that don't go there regularly, Detroit is always scary. But for those of us that do, like, it seems a little bit more nerve-wracking right now.
Yeah, that's for sure true. Yeah, we definitely have the most cases in Michigan, here in Wayne County.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And now
it's not getting any better, really. So at the moment, anyway.
And you work in the schools, so you've been out of work for a while now.
Yeah. So I'm still working at the moment, but certainly not in the schools. This is the 3rd week we've been out of school, and then I'm sure, as you know, they announced yesterday that schools are shut down for the rest of the school year. So kids won't be going back until, hopefully, they will be going back in the fall.
Right. Hopefully, right. And then last time, actually, that you were on the podcast, you had recently told me some news that I wanted to talk to you about, and then you're like, no, don't talk about it, because I haven't told my job yet. And it was about your Peace Corps announcement.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say, I'm pretty sure this is my 3rd time on the podcast.
I believe so.
So
wait.
or was it number 4?
I think it's number 4 if you include... Yeah, it's number 4 because the airport episode.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, what a day that was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when I hit there should be a 5-timer club. I'm ready for it.
I'll make you a patch or something.
I would love that. Actually, you could just buy me a burrito at Armando's, and that would suffice. But,
done.
Yeah, so that is the announcement. I was accepted into the Peace Corps to serve in the country of Guyana, which is in South America, borders Brazil, Venezuela, Suriname. So super, super exciting. However, all of that is now obviously on pause.
Heavy postponement, you know.
All they've said right now is that we are delayed. All departures through June 1st have been delayed, and my departure date was, of course, June 1st. So at the moment, they are not closing any posts, meaning folks that are in country staff are still there and still working, and they plan to have volunteers resume activity once it is safe to do so. But they did evacuate everyone in every country and brought them back to the U.S. that was a volunteer already out in the field.
That's legit, though. That's legit. And honestly, like, I wouldn't. I heard your voice there where you're like, of course, my departure date was June 1st. I wouldn't be disappointed. I guarantee that is going to be extended. Like, put it this way, we're definitely getting extended to April 30th for sure at this point. And
yeah,
it's a stretch. In my mind, it is a very real stretch for us to wake up on the day of May 1st and be like, whew, that was crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a few months.
This is going to eat the summer. As I'm very, very sad to say, because I have some big concerts that I really was looking forward to. I don't think any of them are going to happen at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, your trip with the Peace Corps going, this is going at least to June 1st, at least. Then, you know, and that's just the first delayment or postponement or whatever. You know, I think I don't know. This is wild. Unprecedented is the word I keep coming back to.
Yeah, agreed. It's very crazy, and I think the wildest thing to me is how long it took some people to realize the severity. You know, it certainly changed quickly. At least I felt in Michigan here. I can't remember what the date was, but it was, I guess, four weeks ago now. I do remember being at the office with my coworkers on a Friday, and we were talking about it, and we were all in agreement this was serious, that we would be probably working from home most of the time and then coming into the office maybe once or twice a week. And within 48 hours of that conversation, everything changed, and everything became, you should not be leaving your home unless you absolutely need to. And then shortly after that, of course, was the governor's executive order to stay in shelter. But even after that, I mean, some people are still outside getting together, you know, at the park and at each other's houses, and I just don't understand.
Yeah. No, it's you know, this, like I said this earlier already, but this is one of those situations where you can't, it's an exercise in not being married to your first reaction to something.
Mm-hmm.
And when this first started getting talked about, I was like, oh, all right, here we go again. This is another fucking West Nile, SARS, Ebola. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know those are very real things, but it also seems like every 2 years the news needs to get everybody scared to pump up their viewership because they're dying or something like that. That's also a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I really thought this was in the beginning. Now, you know, to me, this is very real. This has already hit closer to home than I thought it would, and yeah, it's fucking crazy. But also, I did see a map today of cellular data that it basically was showing, like, it was in white if people were essentially cellular data showed that they weren't going anywhere, and it was in red if they were. So it was basically showing people actually following the shelter in place order or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the best, far and away, the best part of there's like a fucking little section of the country that's just solid white, and it was like Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, like the entire our little states area, all the way up to like Maine. So like the northeast corner from Michigan over of the country is doing a really good job at sheltering in place, much more so than the rest of the country. At least that's what that data was showing.
That is promising.
And it is, because on the days that I've had to go out, Until today, on the days I've had to go out, I was pretty shocked at how few people, driving through, driving through Frandor at 5:30 p.m. on a Monday, and it's a ghost town. That's kind of weird. Like, that's real weird, because that's our choke point in the city. That's where every car must pass, and it's a fucking hellscape on 5:30 traffic.
Yeah, that's true. I was a little skeptical when you started talking about that map just for a second, because I thought you were going to say that Detroit looked like it was doing well, and a very small part of the problem with that data is that a lot of Detroiters don't have phones, like don't have access and to things, so like the cellular data might not tell the whole story, but
that's real. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, but to see that on the scale of the whole country,
right?
And I know that some states waited a really long time.
Yeah,
to put the executive order in.
Some states don't even have it yet. Believe it or not.
Oh, really? Some still don't.
I mean, that could be wrong. I think I may have read that yesterday, so maybe by now they do. I don't fucking know, but I did see that. Like, I don't think Florida has a shelter-in-place executive order yet, but I'm not sure. But I don't think they did. As of a couple days ago. So yeah, there are some places, and even after, I think in California they issued the shelter-in-place order, but the beaches were still open. So then
and where do you go in California?
Exactly. So then they had to go through and close all the beaches, which is a whole nother thing.
Right. I think Florida does have it now, because that was one of the states I kept hearing about that was waiting a really long time.
Okay.
So I think that did happen of maybe as recently as yesterday.
Okay.
Pretty recently.
Yeah. Okay. And that's, this is a crazy thing, because it's just nobody knows fucking anything. You know what I mean? Like, you hear one thing that says it can stay on a stainless steel surface for up to 17 days, but then you hear another thing that says you have to, like, stay in a room with it for, like, 20 minutes for it to get into you even. So, like, if you're just passing through, like, going down the aisle of a grocery store and you keep it moving, then you're all right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, it's just so it seems like there's so much conflicting information that I'm at the point where I definitely, anybody walking around that's saying, oh, it's just a flu or just a little worse than a flu. At this point, you're not reading the material you should be. You're not listening to the material you should be, and you do not have a grasp on what this actually is.
Yeah,
in my
at this
opinion.
point, it's flat out irresponsible and dangerous even to not be taking this stuff seriously. And unfortunately, it feels like for some people it has to hit so close to home for them to get a wake-up call. Like, it has to be them that gets sick or a loved one, and that's really sad. I just think it's really sad that you can't visualize past, I'm not saying you, but like some folks just can't get beyond their own circle and see how this is a huge problem and the role that you play by not going out and about.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as you well know, I live basically around the corner from our parents as well as our grandma. And I go over there on a fairly regular basis to visit, and I want to go there, but I don't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for all I know, I could have it. I could be 2 weeks into having it right now. I could be asymptomatic, not even know it.
Right.
And then give it to my grandmother, who's been battling cancer on and off for the past 10 years. I can, that's not a risk that I can take. And on top of that, I live with a roommate who has blood pressure issues and is also a diabetic. So he's also in the high risk category.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows someone that's high risk if they aren't already.
Exactly.
And it's spreading so quickly, and the information is so jumbled that we're getting from the federal government and even, from all over the board, that it is hard to make sense of it, but and there's a lot of conspiracy theories and all that stuff too. And my thinking is that okay, maybe. I just don't think anyone is this organized to get a conspiracy that's this,
Yep.
prevalent for everyone. But also, why risk it, right? Because the consequence is quite literally life or death. So even if you have that inkling in your mind of, well, maybe this isn't as bad as they're making it sound, is it worth your life or someone else's? And the answer, I would hope to God, is no,
Well,
right?
and that's anybody who see, that's the thing, is I am very familiar with conspiracy theories.
I know, that's why I brought it up.
and the idea that the media is just hyping this up to be worse than it is, that is just incorrect. Because I have heard at this point, I have heard from enough independent sources that have nothing, no connection to the media. They're just doctors and shit. No, this is as real as the media is making it sound. The media might be doing what it does best at blowing it up and doing nothing but showing you worst possible scenarios and like all the worst cases and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, they are, but those are real cases.
Mm-hmm.
And this definitely is not something. For Christ's sake, I mean, they've shut everything down. You know what I mean? When they have never, since the existence of March Madness, they have never not had March Madness.
Right.
The only time they've ever not had the Olympics on the schedule, the Olympics date, was during World War II and because of fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And they just postponed that shit. So we're at Nazi level shit here. And
yes, we are.
And it's fucking, you know what I mean? Like, this is definitely something different. And it's, yeah, maybe it hasn't murdered that many people in the fucking United States yet, but it has dramatic potential to. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm getting. That's, if there's any bit of information that I've gathered from every source, and that seems to be true, is that it has insane potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't fucking. What are you doing down there? What are you doing?
Oh, how am I keeping busy?
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm still working, obviously, from home. I don't have a ton of work to do because most of my work is with students, but we're still doing a lot of reaching out to them, phone calls with them, Instagram videos,
Fuck yeah.
texting, anything that we can think of to connect with them and to also connect them to resources like for, food distribution, health clinics, etc. So spend most of the days doing stuff like that. But beyond that, yeah, I mean, as you know, I am a super extrovert, and
Yep.
this is a nightmare for me because I hate being inside all day, and I hate not being around 100 people at a time. So it's been a huge adjustment. I've been reading a lot. I got a Kindle recently, and so I've been on that quite a bit.
Yeah, you got that shit for your fucking trip to South America.
Yeah, and it's coming handy early. We've been doing little in-home exercises and things like that. We've been going on walks still, but obviously not touching anything outside. So in small ways, we've been trying to keep busy, but I'm also not trying to push it. There's a lot of stuff going around right now where people are saying, if this is, you have all this time now, if you're not acquiring a new skill or learning a language or learning an instrument or whatever, writing that book you always wanted to write, then it was never about time. It was about discipline. And I just think that's such a capitalist load of shit. And I just want to recognize that because it's like everyone is, to a different degree, for sure, but everyone is going through a crisis right now. I mean, this is a global crisis, and in whatever way that you were affected, whether you were laid off or can't afford to eat, or you're fine and you're just chilling at your house but you can't see the people that you normally see, it's affecting everyone in some way. So I'm trying to remind myself that there shouldn't be a pressure to be super productive.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, definitely. Like that seems like a very narrow-minded, like this is again something unprecedented, something we have never been through as a country. Like on this level, to this degree, at the technological advancement age that we are in, this is very unprecedented for us. Like for something like this to actually interrupt daily American life for the whole fucking country. And a lot of people don't fucking understand how goddamn big this fucking country is. It's fucking gigantic. Gigantic.
Yeah.
Like Michigan alone is as big as a few fucking European countries put together. And it's fucking, yeah, I agree. Like this is not vacation.
Exactly.
This has nothing to do, like if you're waking up every day like all of us are to a new fucking death toll, it might be hard to have a pep in your step to be creative and inspired.
Yeah, it's not like you took a couple weeks off work, or it's not even like a weekend. I mean, there's no way that it's not on your mind consistently, if not constantly.
Exactly.
There's a moment in almost every morning where I wake up, and today was a beautiful day outside, 60 degrees, sun shining, which I'm also a little bitter about because Michigan Aprils are normally all storms.
Garbage.
If not snow and
snow.
Hail. And check us now. Everyone has to stay inside, and it's like perfect weather. If that is not so Michigan, I don't know what it is. But
agreed.
There is a moment most mornings and today where I woke up and I looked outside and it's so sunny. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a beautiful day. This is so great because I haven't remembered yet. And it takes maybe 10 seconds for that to set in and to remind myself, oh yeah, this is the situation. This is still happening.
Yeah.
This is the reality. But I will say too, I feel very grateful because I put in my resignation for my job.
Yeah.
Because I was planning to leave for the Peace Corps, and I was able to retract it. So I'm able to continue working, assuming that layoffs don't happen or whatever. At least for now, I'm able to continue working, which means I'm able to, continue paying my bills and feeding myself. I did sell a lot of my belongings already. I am supposed to move out of my apartment by the end of the month, so...
All in preparation for your trip, right?
Yeah, so these things are obviously all up in the air, and I'll have to figure some of that stuff out. But, at the very least, I have a job that I'm getting paid, and that's a lot more than some people can say right now, so...
Lots of people.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Yeah, we haven't even begun to talk about the economic potential, like I'm seeing...
It's gonna be rough.
Dude, yeah. Like, I hope you're I hope you're getting every meal from Armando's if you have to single-handedly keep them in business. like I saw some shit that's saying 1 in 3 independently owned restaurants could close up by the end of all this, and that's...
I've heard that number too. Is that a Michigan number, or is that just...
I think that's national. I think that's
Yeah.
national, and that's terrifying. That's fucking insane. That's I don't even fucking... And then and you're right. You said you normally like to be out a lot around people a lot constantly. I don't. However, see, it's kind of like I don't know. It's not the opposite, but it's just slightly different. It's like I don't for kind of extended periods of time, but then I go to a concert where I'm around thousands of people all night long, and I get it all out. And now all my concerts are canceled, and so it's all just building up.
Yep.
and I pretty much have no way to get it out, and it's it's
Sucks.
driving me fucking crazy. It's
It
driving me
absolutely
fucking
sucks.
crazy.
You know, this is sort of unrelated, but I had a conversation with, I called grandma, our other grandma that lives in the Metro Detroit area. I've just been checking on her every week, you know, because I've been worried about her. She lives by herself.
Fuck yeah, how's she doing?
You know, she's an old woman. She just turned 80. Happy birthday,
Happy
Grandma.
birthday, Grandma.
But so I've been calling her just to see if she, you know, she needed me to go get her groceries or whatever. And she's been fine, and we were chatting, and she's asking me what I'm up to. I'm like, well, you know, I'm inside again all day today. And she laughed a little bit. I'm like, how are you doing? She's like, you know, honestly, I'm not much has changed for me. I'm pretty used to this lifestyle. So it was interesting that she said that, because I hadn't thought about it in that way. How, you know, a lot of our grandparents or elders or whoever are the people that stay inside all the time, for better or worse. So these are people that we could potentially look to for, you know, ideas on how to handle this. Like, this is the knowledge.
And that's hilarious, because that's our grandmother from our mom's side. And then the last time I was at our parents' house here in East Lansing with our grandma from our dad's side, different conversation. Yo,
she referred to mom and dad as the two guards that won't allow her to leave the house at one point, and I died of laughter.
Yo, she is cooked the fuck up. Like, yo, all she does is sit in the house all day anyway, but now that she can't leave, she hates it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hilarious.
And she is extremely at risk. There isn't a reason she should be leaving.
No, agreed.
Especially since she lives with other people who can go get things.
Right.
If she needs groceries, they'll go get it. It's not a question, you know. There's no need for her to leave the house.
Right.
Well, she still has to go to the doctor. I think she's still going to the doctor the twice a month that she goes or whatever.
Yeah,
she gets her blood taken anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, it's just interesting to see how different people kind of handle situations, and the psychology of it, I guess, is what I'm really interested in, you know.
It is interesting. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting side of it for sure.
Well, let's can I switch topics a little bit, brighten up?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to ask if there were any local businesses in Lansing that you're still trying to support.
I mean, I'm pretty fucking like, honestly, we've got a lot of food here, so we've just been cooking a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we haven't really been ordering out much. But there, you know, obviously there are a lot of local restaurants that I love, and but outside of that, like outside of the food places, pretty much all the other places that I like aren't essential businesses, so they're already closed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, well, except for I will say Pruce's Pets.
They're still open?
Oh yeah, pet stores. Wow. Pet stores are considered essential.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
because of the supplies and the food?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Because, you know, like they pretty much have to, you know, if they closed all the pet stores and Meijer and Walmart ran out of cat food, then everybody's fucking cats would die.
Oh god. The street is littered with cat carcass. That would just
God. Cat Carcass.
Ideal.
Cat Carcass, new name for a band. Cat Carcass. That's fucking brilliant.
Rare in your day. Yeah, no, that's not a cute look for anyone.
No. So yeah,
we've also been cooking, trying to avoid obviously going out and about, but we did get some Buddy's Pizza yesterday.
Oh.
Which if anyone listening hasn't had Buddy's Pizza, it's so good, and it's a Michigan. It's a pizzeria in the Detroit area. I think there is one in Lansing too. Actually,
I think they just opened, or they're about to open, something like that.
Oh, well, maybe not anymore, but
yeah.
Woof. But it was really good, and we wanted to order it yesterday, and I waited too long, but it was kind of better to wait. Like, we picked or I'm sorry, we wanted to order it Wednesday and we waited until yesterday. And it was weirdly nice to have that, like, very small thing to look forward to all day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're like, oh, we're going to order it tomorrow. And then all day I was like, oh, we're going to go and get this, like, treat, you know? So that was good. But also I was really impressed because Buddy's had a system set up. So I called and placed the order. I paid over the phone. And I gave them what kind of car we would be driving, and they brought it out to the car. So very minimal contact. You know, they had people out in the parking lot with walkie-talkies, like, sending in the order. Everyone was wearing gloves. I thought it was really impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of places up here that are taking similar precautions. Just like Bruce's Pets. Yeah. Bruce's Pets is doing the same kind of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure.
It is fucking crazy.
It really is. I mean, it's weird to be in a moment that you know kids will learn about in school.
Yep.
Truly to be in a moment of history where, I mean, people might listen to this podcast in 20 years as a primary source of what was it like, what was happening.
Yeah, what was going on with people. What were they thinking during this time? Like, imagine if you could listen to a podcast from someone who was going through the Great Depression.
Right.
Or World War II. You know what I mean? Like, those would be invaluable pieces of information.
Yeah, that's like, letters that we have and journals and things like that from previous wars and from history. You know, now it's like, I think podcasting has sort of replaced some of that.
That's a really, I've never fucking thought about that until just now. That's a really good point. Like, there are certain podcasts that, yeah, they're exactly that. They're fucking important historical records. That's crazy. Sure. That's fucking crazy.
It's all crazy, baby.
Well, I guess we'll wrap this up on a lighter note. Have you been like watching anything new, listening to any new music during this time, anything?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, but you will make fun of me because it is a reality TV show. So, there's a show on Netflix right now called The Circle. Have you heard of it?
No.
You won't like it, I guarantee. It's very bad. I didn't even really want to like it, but it's so distracting, and that was very appealing to me. So the setup is, you remember like the Big Brother show that used to be on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they had that. There's still a German Big Brother, and like,
oh my gosh,
really? Like a couple weeks ago, like when all the coronavirus shit started really popping off, the people in the German Big Brother house didn't know about it. So there was an episode where they're like told that there's a pandemic happening outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if they believed it.
Yeah, right? Like, is this part of the show?
Like, whoa, that's wild. Yeah, that is wild. So The Circle has a Big Brother element, but the scenario is that there are 8 people, I believe, and they're all living in the same apartment complex, but everyone is in their own apartment. And they aren't allowed to leave, so they have to stay in that apartment. And they can only communicate with each other through The Circle, which is this, like, social media thing that the show set up. So basically they can only message each other, like, text, like, message. But they're not allowed to have their phones. They're not allowed to be on the internet other than The Circle. They're not allowed to leave the apartment, and the winner gets $100,000, but they determine who the winner is by voting someone off The Circle every episode. So they have to basically gain, trust and popularity and likability with these other people that they haven't met face to face, that they only know through this internet, like, access. And it's really interesting because some people go in as not themselves. So some people start off as catfish. And, like, so this one guy, for example, he's like, a young guy, like, in his 20s, but he put his profile picture up and he used all of his girlfriend's information. And he was like, I think a girl is more likely to win this show and to gain popularity, so I'm going in as her. But it's just it's like a really fascinating psychology experiment, because once you're voted off, like if you get voted off the circle, you get to go meet one of the people in the show. So you get to go actually meet one of the people face to face and knock on their door, and you get to see if they were really who they said they were or if they were fake, and you get to, you know, see their reaction. And it's like really trashy reality TV, but very, very interesting.
Okay. I think you're right. That does not sound like something that would appeal.
Yes, I don't think you would like it, but very distracting. So
on the one hand, on the other hand, you're right. The psychological nature, that aspect, like the social experiment aspect of that show, is actually kind of interesting. And if someone were to like write a paper about it, I would definitely read that paper.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what entices me, I think.
That's
let me give you one more show that's also on. It's called 100 Humans on Netflix, and it's literally, they get 100 different people from around the country, different ages, races, genders, etc., and they run them through social psychology experiments. So I think they do 2 or 3 every episode.
Oh.
And they're all just like little quick things. I think it's a half an hour show. You might like that one, actually.
100 Humans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
And it's a Netflix show, like original, so it'll pop up.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, Got what?
I did also want to mention, too, that Bill Withers passed away today. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did hear about that, yes. Yep.
That's tragic.
Very sad. There's been a lot of very big prominent members in heavy metal bands in the heavy metal community that have tested positive so far. You know, fingers crossed, knock on wood. We haven't lost anybody yet, but you know, it is scary, that's for sure. Especially, you know, with people like Ozzy in the mix, you know what I mean? God damn, it's scary. But yeah, no, fucking. Hey, what about music? You heard any, like, what have you been listening to? I always ask everybody what they've been listening to. I know you don't.
That's the question.
I know you don't like. I know you don't listen to metal, but.
Well, I mean, I was listening to some Bill Withers today.
Hell yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Motown lately because I love it, and I went to the Motown Museum. Did I tell you that? Finally?
Yeah.
I think I did. I just can't recommend it enough. It's such a cool place. The museum, they do such a great job. You can't just go and look around at things. You have to sign up for a specific time, and you have a tour guide. And at first I was like, oh, that's annoying. You know, I just want to go and look around. But I'm so glad they do it that way, because the tour guide gave us, you know, first of all, it was super high energy, knew all of this stuff, and just gave us a ton of information. And, you know, at the end of the tour, you're actually in the recording room. And, you know, this is the room that Stevie Wonder recorded in, and Aretha Franklin. And it's just like Jackson 5, and it's incredible to be in that space and to be like, yeah, all of these people recorded here, and this is where, you know, it's so cool. I just can't even talk enough about it.
The tour goes, that is fucking insane. So, whoa, god damn. So you stood in that spot. That's, wow.
Yeah. It's extremely cool.
No, yeah, and I can fucking, I have a very deep appreciation for that. There have been three places, 3 venues, live concert venues that I've had the privilege of standing on the stage of in Detroit, and I recognize, like, in that moment that I was standing there, I was like, Ozzy stood here. You know, Dio stood here. Everyone I fucking love stood here.
You can feel it.
There is definitely an energy that you can absorb. It is fucking insane. So that is I'm definitely gonna do that once all this shit is done. But I will say I saw on Facebook that Motown is right now offering virtual tours online due to the COVID.
That's awesome. I saw something about that.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it out. I might check that out actually. That is really cool.
Yeah. They are, so you can check that out online right now, I believe. That's definitely a shout out for
but
that.
Yeah, definitely go too, because it's very special to be in the space.
Absolutely. Well, fucking, I guess we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much for answering.
Of course.
And I will let you know the next time I do one of these. Maybe do another quarantine check.
Quarantine check. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, big bro. Well, hang in there. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yeah. You too.
We'll make it through.
Yeah, we got this. We got this one. You fucking,
all right, sounds good.
Stay safe down there in Detroit, all right?
Absolutely, we'll do.
All right, I love you. Hello? Oh, no. Hang on. Hang the fuck on.
Did I hang up on you?
I don't know what the fuck happened, but I didn't get to say I love you, so I love you.
Oh, I love you too, you big sap.
I love you. All right.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Stay safe.
All right. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was my sister Catie, everyone. Fucking, that was great. Yeah, no, she's been heavily affected by this situation. That's why I wanted to bring her on. Like she said, she sold a lot of her belongings. Her lease is up at a certain point in time, all because she was planning to go to South America for the Peace Corps. And now all of that is postponed, and she's not really sure what she's going to do. Fucking crazy. For sure. But guess what? That is not the only surprise I have tonight. Let's first of all, here's everyone listening to this drinking along with me. Here's to Catie. Thank you very much. She's the best, isn't she? She's the fucking best. She's a natural podcaster, honestly. She's a natural everything that she does. Honestly. Let's be honest. Honestly, that's the situation with both of my sisters. And I am, not that. But they're great. And I love them very much, which is why we are currently going to call my other sister, Grace, checking in at home, my parents' home, my grandmother's home. See what's up with her. Come on, Goose, pick up. Oh, come on. Don't fail me.
Your call has
Damn. Fuck, she didn't pick up. I really thought she would. Let's see here. Alright, we're going to try one more time. I really want to talk to her. Come on. Hold on. Technical difficulties, everyone. Hold on one second. Why isn't this? Oh, there we go. Oh, there you are.
Am I on?
Yes, you are. What's up?
Woo! It's pretty good. Sorry, I was on a Zoom call, so I had to close out of that to get on here.
Oh, zoom. Very good.
Zoom. Did you just finish up with Catie?
Yes, I did.
How is the Crypt doing?
The Crypt is doing well. Catie seems to be doing well. How you doing?
I mean, I've been locked inside for a couple of weeks, so, about as well as can be expected.
Now, Catie, she has sold a lot of her belongings, and her lease is up at a certain point in time, all because she was planning on leaving for the Peace Corps, which has now been dramatically and indefinitely postponed due to the virus, the COVID-19, the vid, as I've been calling it. The fucking you are a senior in high school. So tell me how, this is, I feel like it has affected you in a big bad way as well.
Yeah, it's been crazy. For me, it's been a really it's not a funny story, but it's been kind of surreal to look at. I'm an editor of my school's newspaper, and back in January, when the disease, everyone knew what was going on, but it was far away at the time. One of our writers pitched a story. She wanted to write about COVID-19, and back then it was only really in China. And she said, "Hey, I have a friend who's U.S. or Chinese American, and he is currently stuck in Shanghai because of the travel ban. Can I write a story about his situation being stuck there?" And we were like, okay, just one of the big things we stress is make it connected to our town, make it connected to our high school. So, as long as you can connect it and make it relevant. And my friend, she talked to me the other day. She was like, well, it got relevant, Grace. And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no shit. So...
Yeah, so...
No, go on.
Yeah. So, about, I think, 3 weeks ago now, we had our first cases before we had our first cases in Michigan, and everyone kind of knew it was coming, but no one really knew what was going to be happening with it. And then when we had our first case, I think connected, we're in mid-Michigan, we had the first case connected to Michigan State University. I remember people were talking, hey, do you think the schools are going to close down? Like, are we going to get a day or two off? Like, maybe even a week? Like, what's going on? And no one knew. And we're waiting to hear. And it was kind of weird because it was one of those situations where, like, the students weren't sure and the teachers weren't sure, and even the administrators and the superintendents very obviously weren't sure. And so when Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, got on TV and said, I'm closing all schools, I'm sure some supervisors or some school officials got noticed, but from us, the students, and from most of the teachers, that was the message. There wasn't any line of communication prior to that for most people involved. So that was sort of the tipping point. She closed schools for 3 weeks, and everyone was insane. Everyone was freaking out because we thought it would be at most a 2-week closure. And then a couple of days ago now, I think a week ago, she closed for the rest of the year. So it's been an insane kind of process of people are like, oh no, like this is messed up. This has to be delayed, postponed, to being, oh no, this is never happening. I know from my personal experience, our prom is canceled, our senior prom, all spring sports. I have a friend who was supposed to go to States this year on the tennis team. That's her senior year. And she's like, yeah, our tennis season's over. Like, nothing's going to happen about it. It's just been a mess. All standardized testing for juniors, the ACT and SAT to get into college, that's all been postponed. It's just been everything's affected.
And so your prom and your fucking you're not gonna get to walk for graduation, are you?
We technically so for both prom and graduation, they haven't said anything. Graduation was slated for April 25th, so that's seeming impossible.
Yeah.
But our prom was slated for April 25th. Our graduation was on the dock for May 29th. So there's some hope among some people, but given that schools are canceled throughout the year, we're thinking no. They haven't said anything to us. That's been kind of an annoying thing about this process is that everyone's like, so it's canceled, but the schools will be the last people to say everything's canceled. Like, you'll hear it from your friends and you'll hear it from the governor before you hear it from your teacher. And that's partly just because the communication has been so, insane on this. But as far as we know, everything is gone, yeah.
That's fucking rough. That's fucking
And
rough for a
I was
senior
the
in high
Zoom
school.
call I was on. Well, I am. Visa, I don't know if you know this, but I am committing to MSU, James Madison College, and the Zoom call I was on was with a bunch of people who will be James Madison freshmen next year. And we were just kind of getting to know each other and talking to each other. And one of the people on that call mentioned that they've already heard that U of M is discussing doing online classes for fall semester next year.
Yep.
Just because there's really big fear that this virus will be similar to SARS as far as how it plays out. And so that there'll be a dip of cases in the summer, and then in the fall it'll shoot right back up.
Yeah.
So there's even people talking about, okay, this might not just be a spring problem. This might be a rest of 2020 problem.
Yep. The reality is there's so much crazy information going around. Nobody knows what the fuck to actually believe. And it's ultimately nobody really knows what the fuck is going on, I don't think. So, I think that's the issue at the end of the day. And but going back though for a second here, no, I did not know that you committed to James Madison College.
So I haven't sent in my money yet, which I need to do soon. I have a deadline for that, but I've personally committed. I don't know if I can talk about this on the air, but there's a possibility I won't be in the class of 2025. But I am definitely going to MSU James Madison.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, hold, give me just 1 second. Hold on, I got some. 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry about that. That's fucking awesome though. So you're going to Michigan State. That's great. So yeah, this is the word, like I told Catie, the word I keep going back to is unprecedented. Like this country is going through something unprecedented right now. It's kind of crazy for you, especially. You were born basically into a very recently post 9/11 world, and now at graduation time you're hit with this, and I think this is going to be looked back on as something similar. Obviously very different in many ways, but
I definitely agree. It's an interesting. I was talking to someone, and they were like looking at. They call us Gen Z. I don't know. I don't buy into those names and labelings because they don't really make sense.
It's
There's
all
so many
bullshit.
different years and stuff. But the Gen Z group is my group, supposedly. And we were born post 9/11. We were born a couple months after it. And then we grew up with the recession. That was in many ways a thing that shaped a lot of our childhood. And then now we're graduating into this international pandemic. And so it's kind of, a lot of people have been joking on the internet, our generation kind of got shafted as far as luck of the hand, but...
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, I guess technically I'm considered a millennial, which is weird to me. But like
I know you're trying to sneak into Gen X too. Like I see you, BJ.
I don't know what Gen X is. I don't know.
That's like the seven. It's complicated. I don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. But when I was in 9/11 happened when I was in like 6th grade, and then the Great Recession happened when I was graduating high school. And now at the age where my generation is supposed to be married and having a good job and having babies, we're hit with this. It's crazy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But ultimately though, I definitely wanted to talk to you about that because I know that it's really fucking crazy to me how actually hard it's hitting both you and Catie. Like it is greatly impacting both of your lives in a big way. Um, and it's fucked up and it sucks, but at the same time, I also hope that's the most that it impacts your lives. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I hope that's it, and we can take care of this from here. I hope, but so that there's something else that I want to talk to you about, as you know.
Yeah, we were supposed to have this call a long time ago, and I kept falling asleep, to be honest.
I wanted you.
So.
I straight up wanted you to come over and be on the podcast about this shit. Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor fucking Who. The season ended. The retcon happened.
Do you remember? This is such a sidebar, but do you remember when I taught you the word retcon?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that conversation so vividly because I'm like, you and I are both nerds, but in very different ways. And retcon's very much up my alley because I'm more of a comic book nerd. And so I remember talking to you about retcons and being like, I wonder if those are going to be a more mainstream thing.
Yeah. No, yeah. That was very recently. That was very recently, too. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck that was. But, you did, and... all right. I don't even know how to do this, I guess. Like, basically, for anyone who follows Doctor Who, fucking, they made it so Gallifrey is destroyed, and the Doctor is the timeless child. So everything we thought we knew about the Doctor and being the 13th and all that is not the case. In fact, the Doctor was found by a lone Gallifreyan, and that Gallifreyan fucking... What the fuck is that music, Grace? Grace!
You're cutting out on me a little bit.
Grace!
Yeah.
What is that music? What was that music?
I think I'm by some people who are listening to music. I'll be away from them in a second.
What people?
Our parents.
Oh my god. But anyway, the fucking Gallifreyan found the Doctor, and the Doctor was the one that could regenerate, and the Gallifreyans hijacked. So that is a whole basically retcon of the history of the situation.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of it?
Well, okay. I struggle with this one a lot, especially because I want to really like it. Like, there's parts of it I really, really like. I like giving the history. Like, I like that they're fleshing out canon and that they're doing this, okay, Regeneration's always done this thing that makes Gallifrey special and makes Emily special, so let's talk about where that came from. I like, a lot of people, I think you're familiar, Ursula Le Guin famously wrote a short story in sci-fi called The Ones Who Walk Away from Omaha, and it's this idea that the civilization is perfect and great, but it all depended on the suffering of one. And a lot of people online in the critiques of this I've seen have referred to this in the string of Omaha. And saying, okay, they're giving Gallifrey this kind of tragic and dark spike to it, saying they're these great, noble Time Lords who have this ability that makes them great, but it's dependent on suffering. So I really like the idea of it. That's my hard part about this, because if I hated it all, it would be so easy to be like, I hate this, and be done with it. But because I like parts of it, it's making it really difficult for me, because the parts of it really, really suck. For starters, it doesn't fit well. And when we talk about the word retconning, I don't know the actual origin of it, but I know my understanding of it and the origin I've heard most people refer to it comes from comic books. comic books have a notorious history of retconning. For those of you who don't know, retconning is when you take a storyline and you simply slap on a new origin or backstory to it. And you're saying something that was there isn't there anymore. They can do it two ways. You can either explain that the storyline that was existent before is now false and this new storyline exists. So you can say, yes, that was her mother, but actually she was switched up birth, her birth mother is this person. That's one example of a retcon. Another one is you just change the origin and you never address it. And that's a very popular retcon with characters like the Joker. In comic book history, there's a lot of writers who love giving the Joker an origin story, and there's a lot of writers and fans who argue he should never have one. And so it's very common for the Joker to just suddenly not have an origin anymore. And they're just like, yeah, that was all a lie. And so retconning, I think, is a tool that can be done really well, but it's dependent on the character and the medium. It works well with comics because there's so much. The sheer amount of comic books that exist and storylines that have existed mean that when you change stuff, like, no doubt, comics jump the shark every week. Like, that's how they survive. That's what comic books are, just jumping the shark in new and different ways. And so it works there really well. And I think the writer, Chibnall, who I don't care for as a writer, he does have a lot of history. He's like a deep sci-fi nerd. He's a deep Doctor Who nerd, and I think he has a lot of history in the idea of retconning. He was like, I want to do this. I think I can do this because it is a shark jump. It's a shark jump. It is a way to say, no, this is wrong, this is new. And I even like that. I like that they wanted to change things up. I like that they wanted to spice it up and make the story different. What I don't like is when retcons make things pointless. That's my struggle with them. And part of New Who is what they call after 2005. And so part of New Who, part of like the greatness of New Who was this tragic arc, this Gallifrey and the Time Lords, and Gallifrey being destroyed all of a sudden because of the Time War, and the Doctor had this great survivor's guilt and all this stuff. And then they, had the 50th anniversary, which was massively done. They brought it back, and they found a way to bring it back. And then even at the end of the Capaldi era, they started dipping their toe into showing up on Gallifrey and doing storylines with it. Very, very little was done, but they started to get there. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted them to flesh out Gallifreyan history and Gallifreyan culture and tackle it, but do it with Gallifrey present. And so what they ended up doing, the direction they went with, was destroy Gallifrey and retcon her origin with the Master. And I think part of the reason that this retcon didn't work is that it doesn't fit with the story, and the ways they can make it fit with the story are going to be very difficult because they destroyed Gallifrey now. I think if they had just done one, like if I had revealed she was the Timeless Child, and then her furthering story arc is her trying to understand why the Gallifreyans did this while they were also like the bad guys on the map, would be really interesting. A lot of people wouldn't like it, but it would still be interesting. I think if they had just destroyed Gallifrey and they wanted to go back to that, I think it's recessive. Like, I don't think that's a progressive plot decision, but it still would have worked. And they made the Timeless Child just this, like, tragic thing about her origin. But they didn't. They did both. And I think that's where it falls apart. I think it doesn't fit well. While there is a lot of history to the idea of the Doctor not, like, just having the timelines we know, probably the most popular one was in Tom Baker's era. There's this thing known as the Brains of Morbius. There was an episode, and in the episode, the Morbius with the villain showed the Doctor's past regenerations, and there are a bunch of faces that no one recognized. And these were known as the Morbius Doctors, and it's been a long-running fan theory that the Doctor either will have regenerations that fit into this or had past regenerations that were these people. There are other examples, too, scattered throughout, of examples where the Doctor mentions things that would only make sense if they had had a life or had different faces prior to what we know is the first Doctor, which is William Hartnell. So, is there origins there? Yes, but they're fleeting comments and pieces here. I think if Chibnall really wanted to do this, he should have spent Jodie's... Okay, so in New Who, it's not a law, but from what we've seen so far, most doctors knew who'd get 3 seasons. Matt did, David did, Capaldi did. So I'm expecting Jodie to have 3-ish seasons. And I think if Chibnall wanted to do this, like if he was set on this plot point, he should have spent her 3 seasons gearing up to this, leading hints all over the place. Make this as big as the Doctor's name. Make it tie into the Doctor's name. I think he should have talked to Moffat before Moffat left about starting to connect these story arcs, because something that never gets enough credit, that was brilliantly done, was the transition from Russell T. Davies with the end of the David Tennant era and to Moffat with the beginning of Matt Smith era, is that Russell T. and Moffat have a lot of storylines that intersected. River Song was first introduced in David Tennant era Doctor Who, and that's something that is never talked about, I feel like. But that was a brilliant move because that made them feel connected. Chibnall worked really hard to make his era feel completely separate and different, and that makes it feel alone, and that makes this kind of big change feel out of nowhere and random, because it's like, okay, you're taking the show, you're sequestering it, isolating it from its history, and now you're throwing these crazy changes in. And I think a lot of people, like, there are people are pissed online. Like, they are really angry. And they've been angry about his writing, but this threw them over the edge. And I think it's because they feel like the show is just spinning out. And I think it comes from having a writer who wants to do these great things, but is also really obsessed with making it feel completely new and different and not respecting its modern history. Which is funny because he seems to be really interested in respecting the classic Who era, and he wants to be connected to that, and he doesn't want to connect to modern Who. And I think that's frustrated a lot of fans who, like you and I've never sat down and watched all of them classic Who episodes. I have respect for them. It's good old-fashioned sci-fi, but I've never sat down and watched it. So that was a lot. I'm sorry. Please feel free to jump in now.
No. That was fantastic, and I agree. I agree completely. And there is there's a lot of problems with it. A lot of people are upset. I didn't particularly like it. I did, however, notice that they did put in there's a part of the fucking, I don't know what the fuck it was called, the fucking continuum or whatever, the brain of Gallifrey or whatever the fuck, the memory of Gallifrey or whatever, that they were like, we can't access this. So that leaves it open to basically that being retconned, in that, oh, well, the access to that part was proving that all of this was a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there could be that. I'm bummed that they didn't bring Captain Jack back in the last episode. I thought that's what his whole cameo was setting up, is that he was coming back. They didn't really heed his warning, all things considered.
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely. I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think you just made it all better, in that if he had talked to Moffat, if he had made this the 3-season story arc and had 2 seasons building up to this, it would have had a much bigger impact, and it would have been much better if it included, like you said, modern Doctor Who history. I think that's all it would have taken for this to have had the impact I think they were hoping it would have had.
And the frustrating thing about this is that there was so much modern Who film to draw from.
So much!
I've noticed this online because a lot of people are trying to fix it with fan theories.
Yeah.
And they're trying to say, okay, wait, let's figure this out. So I know something I texted you that I loved is that there's this character in David Tennant's episode, End of Time, this older woman who comes with Razalon, and she just sort of shows up in the storyline. They never address who they are. They never say her name. The only thing we know about her is that she's trying to help the Doctor.
Right.
And she only ever really appears to Wilfred. And we don't know who she is. We don't know what she's about. She seems important, but we don't know why. And she was a Mr. Kitcher, and Russell T. Davies has gone on the record and saying, I'm going to leave it to the fans to decide who she was. They could have made her Tech-Doon. That would have been easy. That would have been great. That would have been a connection. They could make that a storyline saying, after Tech-Doon raised this child, made this civilization. She felt so much regret over what she did that she started to disagree with Time Lords. Maybe Tecteun is the reason the Doctor was able to steal the TARDIS and get off Gallifrey. Like, make that a character that we care about, that we want to learn more about, that we feel connected to. But they just throw out this name. And I think that's, that's the thing that sucks about Chibnall's era, is that it feels so much like this random throwing darts. And there's one, retcons, you can do anything you want, but there's one cardinal sin for retcon. You never want to write a retcon that is going to be reliant on it being retcon itself. And what I mean by that is, if you change a character's origin, you don't want to do that in the idea that, in the vein that you think that itself is going to change. So if he comes back, and we find out that, oh my god, the Doctor isn't the Time's child, this is all a lie, I'm actually going to be a lot more pissed. I'm going to be like, why would you do that? Like, why would you write something and make it this big shocking reveal, and then, oh wait, that was a lie? You know?
Fair point.
So, I mean, a lot of the theories I've seen online are reliant on the Doctor not actually being the Time's child and that being revealed. And I'm like, I get why you're there, I get why you want that to be true, but I think that makes even less sense from a writing perspective. So, I don't know. As a fan, it's frustrating. And I think as a fan, it's frustrating because I personally think Jodie could be a really fucking good Doctor.
I agree.
I think the acting we saw from Jodie in that last episode, for everyone, I know there's a lot of people who don't like her, a lot of people who feel like she's too kind of silly and wonky and whatever. I think the acting we saw in Jodie in that last episode proves that she should be a really good Doctor. Because I thought she seemed... Whenever I talk about Doctor Who, like, if everyone ever, like, described a character, I think back to a line in David's era where someone described the Doctor as fire, ice, and rage all in one. And I think that last, like, episode of Jodie, we saw that. We kind of saw... She had the... it seemed almost like the inkling to be a really dark Doctor, actually.
I
agree.
agree.
And oh my god, Sasha Darwin's master.
Yeah.
He blew it up. I think, I know this might be sacrilege, but he might be the actor I've been the most impressed with. I love Sims with David. I love Sims, but he makes you, like, watching Darwin, he's silly. He's almost like the evil Beetlejuice master. Like, he's silly.
1, 2, 3,
He
4.
plays with you.
1, 2, 3,
I feel
4.
like you get that relationship. Like, you get that idea of, like, this is someone who wants to, like, play with her. Like, this is, like, a brother pulling her pigtails.
Yeah, but the other master, the one before the last one, I don't know his name, but he was like the Doctor's brother. You know,
but...
he was like an estranged...
I'm never going to deny that he was good. Like, he was excellent. He introduced the character.
He was
I'm
so
never going to say he wasn't
fucking
good.
good.
But I liked Darwin. Not Darwin. Darwin. Sasha, his name is the actor that's currently playing it. I hope they bring him back because I think he was one of the best portrayals I've seen of the character. You know, I gotta say too, I really liked. I'm blanking on her name, but the woman who played her too. I think they've done a great job of casting a master in the past.
No, she was just, in my opinion, just like Peter Capaldi and just like Jodie Whittaker. All three of them have been great, just victim to not as great writing. But they did pull off the writing really well with the new master, when we were talking about. But David and Matt's master, I don't know his name, but the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, oh my god, like undeniable, undeniable.
I think too, we gotta give it credit to, he had a lot of time. Like, he was the big lead up to a final season finale, and then he had the whole David Series finale within the time.
That's very true. That's very true.
So we like, if he can develop, if he as a character has the ability to develop, we got to see him develop.
That's very true.
But I do gotta say, I love Darwin's master. I was blown away by it.
Oh, he was
it's really
good.
funny because the actor who plays the Master, Sasha, and then the actress who plays the Doctor, Jodie, used to work on a different show together. They're actors together before, And they actually, the guy who plays Sasha worked with David Tennant and Russell T for Moffat. And so they interviewed him. They were like, okay, when you got the part, did you tell Moffat? Because you and him are like buddies. And he said, no, I didn't tell him, but I was like, oh, I have to learn all these crazy lines like yada, yada, yada. And apparently Moffat immediately was like, I know exactly what character you're playing. There's only one character who'd ever say that.
Ha ha ha.
It was good on that. I love watching those interviews. I don't know.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's my struggle with it, because I know there are a lot of people on the internet who have been like, oh, fuck this finale, like, I'd give up on it. But I was like, there are elements to it that are really good. Visually, it was impressive. I liked it visually. Sasha's master was great. I thought Jodie's acting was great. I think the origin story, it's a good story. And I like the idea that they're like, okay, let's explore more out, like, what's outside of this universe. Let's give it another layer. But if it doesn't fit with the story, if it doesn't feel like Doctor Who, you're always going to get press back. One of the Doctor Who episodes I hate the most of all time is Jodie's first episode. I hate Jodie's first episode. And the reason I hate it is because it doesn't look like Doctor Who. Like, literally, the lighting, the way they shot it, it doesn't fit in my mind. And it's not just that it has a new show writer, it's that he decided to make the show look and feel so different that it doesn't feel familiar anymore. And I think that's been an issue Chibnall's had for all his seasons, and it's now coming to blows. Because now the fans are like, this is too much. Like, dude, you can't do it this far.
I agree with that. I completely understand that. Yeah, like immediately it stopped feeling like Doctor Who immediately. At least the way many modern fans have come to know Doctor Who, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the final that I didn't touch on?
I mean, no, honestly, you pretty much touched on everything. I kind of hope they retcon the retcon. I don't particularly like what they've done with it. The fact that they essentially made, I guess it's just that I was so attached to the story that was started with with Eccleston. Yeah, with Eccleston. I'm so attached to the story that started there that the fact that they're just, instead of trying to go deeper into it or explain any more of the unanswered questions, they're just trying to rearrange the whole thing and make all that essentially not non-existent, but non-essential. It bums me out because that's such a great story that you're just abandoning.
Yeah, it was frustrating, especially because Matt's storyline with like the Doctor's name, and then Capaldi dug into the origins of Davros and like the Doctor's relation, and there was a whole Capaldi episode where they addressed his childhood and they addressed the Doctor's childhood. There's so much to draw from.
Yeah.
There's so much there that he could have, and he chose not to. And I won't lie, I've never met the guy. I don't know him, but from the interviews and just the way he addresses it, it seems a lot like ego, and I think that pisses people off more.
Nah. Yeah.
He's just I want to do my own thing. I don't know if you know this, but this is really funny. Chibnall, the current showrunner, back in Classic Who era, he was a teenager when the show was on. He was a big fan, and he actually went on the BBC once to talk about complaints he had with the writing of the show.
Oh boy.
So there's pictures of him as I think it's in the late 70s or something. There's pictures of him on the set of BBC being yeah, I'm frustrated with the writing right now, and this is why. And it's so funny to me. Yeah.
Well, guess what, buddy?
Yeah, it's not easy.
Not easy. Not easy being top dog, that's for sure. It is, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, shit, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I had to talk to you about, honestly.
How are you doing with the quarantine, DJ?
Doing all right,
Hanging in there?
Hanging in there, a little bored for sure, but all in all, we're doing all right.
That's good.
Yeah. Keeping, trying to keep social interaction to a minimum. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
That's been crazy.
yeah. How's the family doing over there? Everybody healthy?
Yeah, everyone's healthy. Everyone's kind of bored, but safe. So, I mean, there's not much more you can ask for.
I bet Mia's loving this.
Oh, she's an attention whore, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Mia the dog. Oh, I miss
Yeah,
her.
clarification. Mia is a dog.
I do miss her right now. And all you guys.
Come by. You can swing by and see her if you really want to. I think they'll make an exception for you.
Well, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see about that. I don't know if because for all I know, I could be carrying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that scares me.
Yeah.
But,
Every time.
yeah, no, thank you. I guess we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much for answering.
Of course. I'm sorry if they're a little rambly.
No.
I'm either going to say it all at once or I'm not going to remember any of it.
No, that's the point of a podcast, is to ramble. So that's the whole thing. So that was fantastic. I'm glad we finally got to talk about that. And yeah, hopefully I will see you again soon. And either way though, I'll still probably, next time I record an episode, I'll see if you want another quarantine check.
Let me know.
I will definitely. All right. Thanks for picking up, Grace. I love you.
Of course. Love you too. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night. All right. That was my sister, Grace. Oh, Grace. Good to hear from her. Good to know everything at home is going well. That's for sure. Let's see what else we got here before we wrap this up this evening. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll give one more person a try on the phone. Maybe we'll do one more. One more. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see what happens. This is Aaron.
Yo.
Oh, shit.
What's up?
Oh, shit. I wasn't sure if you were going to answer or not.
Well, yeah, you told me to be ready, so I figured I would be.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking, what up? Quarantine check. How you guys doing over there?
We're, bored as ever.
I feel
we're
that.
good. Not much going on, really.
I feel that.
Just kind of chilling, so.
Hell yeah.
What about you? How you doing?
I'm alright, you know. We've been, taking care of some things over here, trying to keep busy, but, I mean, you know, we had enough to keep busy through, like, the past few days, but now it's all run out. So now it's really kicking in. Like,
pretty much how I feel about it all, honestly.
Yeah. How's that new? I seen you been playing that new Doom game. How's that going?
Yeah. Still, dude, it's been kicking my ass, honestly. I've had to take a couple breaks from it, but I'm just right at the end of it. But it's pretty sick. I don't know if I like it right now as much as the 2016 version. Like story wise, I think it's a little lacking. But other than that, like, I don't know, just visually, it's basically like a playable Cannibal Corpse album.
Fuck yeah.
It's crazy.
That's pretty dope, actually. That right there, that review, a playable Cannibal Corpse album, that's almost enough to get me to get it. Like, that's fucking... That's
I'm
sick
telling
as
you,
fuck.
like, there's so many points in it where I was like, dude, that is, like, you may as well, like, this writes itself. Like, and then the fact that, I don't know if you saw the Titan thing I said earlier.
Yes, I did.
I was like, what? Wow, where have I heard that before?
Dude, yeah, that shit was fucking dope. There's like a whole description of Titans in the game, and it's fucking brutal. Brutal. I love it. Fucking shit, man.
Speaking of brutal, how's Verminous?
Oh, okay. I said at the beginning of the podcast, all I'm going to say about it is that I love it, and everybody should be excited. Like, oh, dude, I just, you know. I know we're supposed to be locking in shelter and in place and shit, but if you want to come over, that's something. Maybe we could. Man, no, that wouldn't be right. I was trying to think like maybe we could find a way to like video call and I could play it for you over that, but then you wouldn't hear it on a good connection or good speakers. That's not how you want to.
Yeah, especially first time out. Like,
yeah, like dude, it's fucking. Oh, it's fantastic! It's fantastic. I'll if you want to know more, I'll tell you more after the podcast. But I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I've had that like the title track song stuck in my head for the last like day or so. I'm like, man, like, and plus, like, I was surprised that they set them out so early because it's such a long ways out.
Well,
like it's still 2 weeks out. But
yeah.
Given everything, I figure they're probably trying to get them out as quick as they can.
Exactly. Before they're worried about things closing up before it's too late, and yeah, like I get it. And you know what, dude? I have never been more proud to be a member of a fan base because I know I am far from the only one that received an early copy, and it is not online yet. At least that I've been I've looked on YouTube and stuff to see if I could find some with the tracks, and I cannot. And I am like, that means that everybody that's got it so far has respected the shit and not put it online yet. Like, respected the band, respected the situation. And like I appreciate that. I think that's a cool thing that the fan base is that. Not only are they loyal enough to buy every piece of merch and create this awesome Blast Fiends page on Facebook and all this and that, but they're also loyal enough to respect the band enough to, when they receive an early copy of a new album, almost a fucking month before the album is supposed to drop, due to a pandemic situation in the country, unprecedented, that they respect the situation enough to be like, I'm happy I got it, but look, like the band asked us not to do anything, so not even post pictures of the merch online.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw that post that they made a little while ago about, that kind of same thing, and you're never really too sure how many people are going to follow that, especially with the fan base that they have, and like there's so many people that follow. You figure somebody would kind of but I figure we're all kind of in the same boat with it all, and it makes sense that everybody's kind of just like gets it, because otherwise, like, and plus there's been a lot of people that have been going back and forth about like shipping stuff, which from a perspective of working in like shipping and receiving, like that's such a crazy thing.
Yeah, you actually did that. Yeah.
So I know how annoying it is for people to be like, oh, well, where's my shipping? Where's my, it's like, you're not the only one that's, sending stuff out and ordering stuff. So it's, it's just cool to see that they're, that everybody's kind of on the same level with it.
Yeah, it is. I really appreciated. I thought that, because I looked it up earlier today on YouTube. I was like, I wonder if anybody's put it on. I wonder if anyone was a fucking dick and put it on YouTube yet, and they haven't. And I was like, that's really, man, like, holy shit, the metalheads, fucking, even in a crazy situation like this, they are fucking, because at the same time also too, the only people that have it are the people that pre-ordered a physical copy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are like the hardcore fans. You know what I mean? Like not all of the hardcore fans, but the only people that did it are hardcore fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means that they're all, you know what I mean? Like you said, we're all in the same boat, and I don't know. I just think it's a really cool thing to see, and I was really, I really like, as much as I cannot fucking wait for everybody to hear this, like I'm really happy that they're holding out and they're not, they're following the band's fucking wishes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the ones we love. They're the ones that make the art we love. And they're the wishes we should you know what I mean? Like, we should respect. It's a matter of respect.
Yeah. Especially because, like, they didn't have to do that.
Right.
You know, like, they easily waited and had everything else out, but, it's just, I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah. So, what I'll say on air, at least, about it to you, my friend, is that it is fantastic, and get your ass over here to listen to this shit and do a podcast with me. Yeah, it is, because I noticed you guys, and I actually talked to Alex the other day. I noticed you guys have chosen to not do band live streams, at least.
Yeah, it's for one reason or another. It's just kind of been tough, honestly. Like, I thought that maybe we'd be able to kind of get together a little more and stuff, but it's at this point everybody's kind of like, it's just a weird situation, and I feel like the best thing is just to kind of lay low and kind of wait it out, but also just we're still busy doing stuff, like we're working on music and sending ideas back and forth and stuff, so it just it sucks that it came about at a time where we were just starting to really hit our stride with all of it, and then now it's just it's become a little more difficult.
Hey, but at the same time, now is nobody's got anything to do but sit inside and listen to shit. So now's the time to fucking pump the shit out of Titan as much as you can, you know what I mean? And just, make sure every fucking person that has ears can hear this shit.
Yeah.
So, now's the time more than ever to just pump shit out, you know what I mean? And you have a whole new thing to pump out right now. So it's out, lines up kind of great, and I don't know. You can still do, I put it this way. I guarantee you sit down and start live streaming on your drums and playing songs off Titan and taking requests. Like, you'll get some fucking hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So
that's something I've been trying to work out. It's really a matter of just having a good enough connection here to be able to do that, and have like sound quality and everything pick up, because I figured out how to use my whole electric kit and have it come through, and also be able to play with the backing track to it and everything. So it's just a matter of being able to broadcast it, basically. But that's and even just sitting thinking about, like, how many just ideas I've had for, like, videos and stuff over the last little while, and so it's just kind of getting into some of that stuff and figuring out how it's all going to work. So,
well, shit, make sure you're writing that shit down, man, because that's what I've been doing, is writing down every fucking idea that pops into my head.
Yeah, but it's weird because, like, when I first when we first kind of figured out all this is going down, and it was going to be, it went from being a couple of weeks to, now we're looking at like a month and a half.
Minimum.
Yeah. It kind of, like, it really kind of put me in a different headspace as far as, like, just all the idle time, basically. So.
And you know what, too? That's something that full disclosure, you are the third call on this podcast. so we've gone through some peaks and valleys tonight. But that's something that was talked about earlier. Is that apparently she's been seeing some things online that like are like making people feel bad about not being like motivated or creative during this time, and that's not what I'm saying about you or in any way, shape, or form at all or anything like that. I'm just bringing it up. It when at a certain I don't fault anybody for anything, because at a certain level, when you're in this situation, when you're someone who kind of lives paycheck to paycheck, which is actually most Americans probably, and then all of a sudden the paycheck goes away, that's very stressful. And then on top of that, we're waking up every day to don't go outside and a new death toll. It's kind of hard to pop up and be real peppy and motivated and inspired, during that time. So it's not something, what I mean? Like it's this is a crazy thing. This is a moment in history that we're really going through right now, and
absolutely.
It's I keep going back to this fucking word all the fucking night. People listen to this are probably annoyed by now. Unprecedented. It's unprecedented. Like no, we've never seen anything like this, and we don't know. We don't really know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows shit. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. We're all in this together, but nobody knows fucking shit. And it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I've been having to really work on is just, because, some days it is, especially the last few days, man, like, shit, with all I mean, I've never in my life have I like, gone to, like, turn on the TV and, like, be flipping around and all of a sudden see, like, numbers of cases and numbers of, like, people that have died. Like, that's something that is really hard to grasp, and especially in this situation where it's everywhere, and it's so yeah, it is. I mean, to your point, like, it is kind of tough to want to do just be like you said, like, super motivated and stuff, but like it's kind of, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday or last, I don't know who he had on I was listening to, but he was saying, like, it's the best thing to do about it is just to figure out, like, how you feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, how you're dealing with it and where you kind of stand with, like, the whole thing, and kind of like how you deal with it is kind of half of it. So it's, to me, like, what I've been trying to do is just, even on days where it's tougher, just doing stuff, like even sitting down at the, like, to practice for, just an hour, just just give it like a solid hour and just, see what happens. And if it's good, it'll keep going. But if it isn't, then, at least I gave it that hour just to fill my time with something. So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as far as, just, I still don't know really how to put it all into perspective, and I don't think I will for a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not something that we've ever had to deal with before.
Yeah.
And I don't really think anybody that knows how to put this in any kind of perspective, at least at the moment, because we're still in the middle of it. You know what I mean? But I do think it is it is difficult. But things like this and playing music are things that definitely could help in keeping ourselves moving. I definitely this week didn't do as much as I was hoping, but I did do some things, and it's got me more energized, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because
that's good.
Yeah, I definitely don't think this is all going to be over by in 10 days. You know what I mean? Which is currently when our shelter-in-place order is until April 13th, which is 10 days from now. I don't think...
No, they extended that.
Well, they extended it nationally, but they haven't extended it statewide yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about work stuff. Yeah, you're right.
So but yeah, I there's no way, right? There's no way. So
yeah, I have a hard time believing that, honestly.
I don't.
Just because there's so much about it that we don't know yet that it's hard to even put a number on it and be like, yeah, like that's, we should be good now, or we should be, like it's so hard to just predict that.
Exactly. I don't see that happening. So it's we're in it. We're in the middle of it right now, and all we can hope to do is follow the fucking rules and stay as safe as we fucking can. Really.
Yeah.
And not get sick.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's kind of why I haven't really, today was like the first day I'd been out of the house in probably like 3 or 4 days. And even that was like, man, like this is, it's just weird. It's a weird thing to, see people walking around with like gloves and masks on in like in public places where normally it's, it's not even really a thought.
Right.
I think the one thing that we'll definitely see from it is, just a change in just the overall, our habits and just the way that we do things on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely could. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to say if it would change stuff on a daily basis, but it might. This one might actually, because it's one of those things, you know what I mean? It's like that. There's not much you can change on a daily basis to prevent a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But there is a lot that you can do to prevent something like this from ever happening again. So maybe this does have a pretty dramatic change. I don't know. I definitely don't think things will go back. I think there may be a new normal. I think it's possible that normal isn't a thing anymore. And what that means, I don't know, because
at least how we knew it, like that's the other weird thing is just even having that realization that, like it's never, it's going to take a while for it to be back to zero. You know what I mean?
And if that impacts, if part of that is, heavy social distancing, then that may mean a long time before we go to a show again.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's been really bumming me out lately. I gotta be honest.
And what that means is that if we isolate ourselves for 14 days and neither of us show any symptoms, that means you can come over and we can have a mosh pit in the living room.
May as well. I mean,
right?
Something. Fuck. I don't know.
Better than nothing. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. If we can just get like 4 or 5 people to isolate themselves for 14 days, and then we can come over and have a mosh pit in the living room, it'd be perfect.
Just move the center table out and just start going in.
Destroy everything! Come on! Oh my God! Like, dude, it is pent up. That's for sure.
Have you watched any like live, like really good live shows lately?
I watched some of that fucking. I didn't watch the documentary yet, but I watched some of the live footage of that Slipknot thing you sent me.
Oh yeah, the BBC thing.
Yeah, that was fucking dope. And then tomorrow at I think, I don't know, like either 9 p.m. or 4 p.m., I'm definitely watching that Viva La Underdogs Parkway Drive on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's tomorrow. So if you go to Parkway Drive's YouTube, and you can click on it and set a reminder, so it'll notify you whenever it goes live.
Doing that right now.
Do that shit, dude, because I'm real excited for that. Because what I have seen of that show, that live Vakken performance, has been outstanding. I think Vakken's been canceled this year.
Really?
I
I
think.
haven't heard anything about it.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it has. I saw something about it, but I don't know. But Jesus Christ.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's funny you brought up Parkway because I watched that. They have a live at Resurrection Fest from last year.
Oh, that shit is so good.
Dude, yeah, like the whole how they open it up, like walking out with
Yeah.
with all like the torches and stuff.
Yeah, dude. That's how they're supposed to fucking open that shit on the tour with Hatebreed if that shit happens, but I don't know right now. Yeah.
Dude, that I've never seen anything like that. Like
No.
they're just like they're like I don't know. It's just a different way to like start the show. I guess like it's I don't know. It's cool.
It was fucking sick, dude. Yeah. I loved that. Oh,
And
man.
even it kind of led me to going back to like, I've been listening to them a lot this week.
Fuck yeah.
Since then.
Fuck yeah, dude. Now, damn it, now I'm about to go listen to some of that. Some live shit. Oh my god.
That's what keeps me going during all this is like eventually it's gonna get back to that. Hopefully, maybe. It might be a half a year.
You know,
but the one thing I'm thinking is like when it does finally and when it is, but like when we can start going regularly, like dude, the shows are gonna be so intense.
oh my god, dude.
Like,
Oh my god.
That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. It's just that like, because you know that when it's go time and when everybody's on the same page again, it's gonna be like going to shows as like a teenager again. Like
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. When Jamie Johnston gets back on that stage in Detroit and goes, "I've got 2 words. 2 words, and I need you to sing them as loud as you can. Destroy everything!" Oh my god, dude. Total fucking chaos. Total when, oh my god, when Dahlia comes back and goes, "We are the kings of the night realm." Like, fucking, oh, dude, yeah, when it all comes back, when Lamb of God comes back and goes, "You've got a motherfucking invitation." Oh!
It might bring back. When was the last time they played Black Label? I feel like it's been a
Oh my god!
I mean, all I'm saying is, who knows where this, what this could mean, but at least we know that on the other side of this, there's going to be some crazy, like, probably some life-changing, like, religious experience kind of shows, you know what I mean?
That's, yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that, but I think you're right. It might be a full calendar year before we get one, but we'll get one eventually. And I think you're right. Like, man.
Because to me, it's like there's so many different things that we used to be able to just do freely, and it's weird that for the first time that I can remember, it's at a point where we can't do that anymore. And now that that's in perspective, is like for one thing, eventually it's gonna something's gonna change, and it'll hopefully be sooner than later, but it's all it's doing is just building up that anticipation for it and stuff. And I mean, what's more crazy than after all this is going to just hear loud amps to the face, basically. Like,
Yeah.
And it's been, like, for me, it's been even longer than months. Like, it's been, I don't even remember. What was the last one we went to last year?
Cannibal Thy Art, November.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yep. Trust me, I looked just yesterday. And I was like, what the fuck was the last one? And that was it.
I couldn't remember if it was
November.
that or if it was not Fest, but yeah, that was later in the year.
November.
Yeah.
So we got December, January, February, March, April, bro. We got a minimum of 5, almost half a year. Oh my God. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to organize a living room mosh pit situation just to get through this shit.
I was thinking, like, I don't know, with the way, like, live streaming and stuff is, like, or not live streaming, but, like, you know, Skype or whatever, like, you know, there's always chance to, like, you know, do like a hangout, like, viewing, like, I don't know, like a happy hour kind of deal where you just, like, watch the same live shit and just kind of, like, hang out or whatever.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for to try something like that during this.
Just something different, you know, something kind of, you know, hang out at least a little bit.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I think that it's kind of cool, like calling people on the phone again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nice to actually like talk to someone as opposed to just text.
Just well, I mean, when you put it in the, you know, the eyes of, like, you know, you can't go anywhere, otherwise you'll die, basically. Like, you know, you find other ways to communicate and stuff, and I feel, to me, like, I felt like it was only a matter of time before, you know, there was a shift, if that makes sense. Like, it'd been kind of the same for so long, and, you know, everybody was kind of in their own way in some senses. Like, we were all super, like, disconnected, and now all of a sudden it's like, you know, it's the only choice we got. So
yeah, now in a weird, in our isolation, there's this weird opportunity to be more connected again.
yeah,
It's very strange. It's very strange. Well, shit, man, I'm probably gonna wrap this one up. This is officially a 2-hour-long episode.
well, did you call Preston?
No, I didn't. I never heard back from him. But I talked to both of my sisters.
Oh, right on.
And those were both really good conversations. I look forward to you being able to hear them. It's actually real interesting because both of them have both been dramatically impacted by everything that's been going on, but in very different ways.
Oh yeah. You said one of them was like, what was it? About to travel. I'm sure you covered it already, but yeah, that was like.
Yeah, Catie was supposed to leave for the Peace Corps on June 1st. And that got postponed, but Grace is a senior in high school. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she's missing out on having a real graduation, a prom, like all these things.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, like, I couldn't imagine, you know, all of a sudden, like, it's like, oh, you know, school's just kind of canceled. Just forever, like, not forever, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I think Catie, maybe Grace, but I think Catie told me earlier tonight that U of M is already looking into moving all of their fall classes to online.
Wow.
Yeah. As a possibility. So this could go on longer than the remainder of this school year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my sister was supposed to leave for the Peace Corps on June 1st. So they're already canceling or postponing things through the end of May.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's happened. I do not see this ending before May, the end of May.
Yeah. It's, I don't really think that putting a time on anything right now is wise, because it's almost like you just you can't really. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Like
No.
you can't rush it. There's nothing, So.
I agree completely.
And all it's really, I mean, I don't know, I won't get too heavy into it, but like all it's really doing is just creating this like this anxiety about like people just getting impatient with stuff, and so.
All right. Yeah. No, I agree. And yeah, I don't think we should. I don't think anybody should anticipate any dates anytime soon until someone says we have a vaccine or something of that nature. Because until then, it looks like this shit is here, and that's that. Like, more or less, like it's here, and we have to deal with it now. But hey, we are. And I will say that I saw a thing earlier that suggested that the state of Michigan is doing very well with the not going out and the social distancing and things like that. And so
Yeah, I saw that too. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. My sister raised a good point in that was based off cellular data, and that a lot of people in places like Detroit and Flint don't have cell phones. So it's not totally accurate, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it does provide hope, at least a small glimmer.
Yeah.
That we see, and I will say this: every day, before today, and because today was such a gorgeous day outside, before today, every time that I had been out, it was a ghost town. Today there was quite a few people out, but before today, it was pretty much a ghost town out there.
Yeah.
So, have you gone? So, yeah. When's the last time you left the house?
I was out a little bit today, like I was saying, but it was just up to the store, a couple different things, and it wasn't too bad. Like it was, I mean, I try not to stay in one place for too long. So it wasn't, I mean, but I have seen, especially up in the Okemos area, and I haven't really gone into Lansing in the last like couple weeks. But yeah, just like it's weird having just less cars on the road, just seeing less people.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, later on, I think like just before we, she issued the order for the state, like I was driving home from like practice at like 9:00, and it was like there was nobody around, and I was like, man, this is weird. Like I've never seen this.
Yeah.
It's like a bad movie.
Was it weird going to the store?
I mean, like, cause I live in kind of a smaller town, and like it is kind of nice in that sense because there's not like I don't have to go up to Meijer or like any of the bigger stores if I don't have to, which is pretty nice. But like as far as I mean, you see a lot of people wearing masks and gloves and different kind of stuff, and fortunately I haven't like firsthand seen anybody lose their mind over all this in public, but I have definitely heard that it's happened, which is pretty stupid. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I go out, I just have a weird. It's just a weird vibe.
Yeah.
In the world right now, it's just weird. There's a weirdness to it. It's different.
Nobody really knows like what to say or like how to do things. Everybody's kind of like real like skittish about stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and like I live in more of a neighborhood. Not closer to the city, so it's more a little more compact than where you're at and stuff. And so I've never seen this many people out walking around and stuff on the sidewalks and riding bikes and shit. I've never seen so many people out in this neighborhood before. It's crazy. And but so few cars as well. And yeah, I've noticed the buses stopped. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So many weird like little things like that. It's very bizarre, and it's but at the same time, honestly, I fucking for the last fucking 2 hours, I've been feeling fucking fantastic talking to you, talking to my sisters, talking to people on the phone, and fucking doing this podcast and everything. It's little things like this that are keeping us going right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely glad to hear you hanging in there, and you kind of suck because like I'd like to be able to go and chill and stuff, but like it's so weird right now with everything else going on. Like it's so it's nothing wrong with it. It's the best we got, so.
And you know what? If ultimately this results in you and I figuring out how to do like a video call podcast where we're both like on video and we can post that, then hey, that's a plus. Like we got something, we kind of got something out of it, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what we're working on right now. And as soon as we figure that out, we'll fucking do it. And and hopefully we figure that out, sometime this weekend. That'd be cool. But even if we don't, every single time I sit down to do one of these, I'm gonna let you know and fucking call you and during this time, you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, we're still keeping everything moving.
Yeah.
And like any. Now is the time more than ever for like I said earlier, nobody should feel bad about if they don't feel particularly inspired right now. But at the same time, if you do, now's the time. And so now's the time to fucking, any ideas that we have for this, now's the time to fucking try them. And yeah, I think it'd be fucking awesome to do a video call podcast. Like we could go deeper to the murky waters with some shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about I even need to do a Dogman episode soon.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think it was like it was like Halloween last time we did one of those.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I think sometime this weekend, figure out the whole Skype thing and see how that works. Because as far as I know, like my understanding of it is like at very most it'll like save the MP3 or just some video file of with the audio and stuff with it, so that we can find a way to like either take the audio from it or just have just do like the whole video thing. But I'm sure there's a way around it.
All right, yeah. We'll fucking we'll make that a little let's do that this weekend. We'll make that a little project for us over the next 2 days and figure that out. Fuck yeah. I'll read that thing. I saw you sent me a thing. I'll read that, and we'll figure this shit out. But fuck, there was one more thing I was gonna talk to you about, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, no. Just to fucking wrap this up. You don't happen to have a little drinky poo nearby, do you?
I can go grab a beer real quick.
Go grab one.
All right. I got a second.
All right, I will. Oh yeah, here we go, people. We're gonna end this one on a fucking high note. And this is definitely something I want to highlight. Make sure, take this time, if you have time off, fucking call some people. Hear their voices. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to, when you go you're just texting all the time and fucking, you need, the people you care about, you gotta call. You gotta call them at least once in a fucking while and hear their voices, because they can text you whatever the fuck they want, but if you hear their voice, you're gonna know. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. It's an important thing for sure. And I can't even tell you how much I appreciate everybody that has picked up the phone for me tonight and given me all this fucking amazing content. This has been amazing. Oh, sounds like Aaron might be back soon. Here to close this one out with a drink with me. Oh shit.
I was actually going to suggest this too, to be honest.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. All right, man. Let's close this one out with the drink together. Here is to, I don't know, just fucking staying healthy.
Yeah, man.
Hey. Well, okay, hold on. Should I say the thing? Will you say the thing that happened with with a member of your family the other day?
Oh yeah.
You'll say it?
Yeah. What's up?
You'll talk. You're down to say it?
Yeah.
Do it.
Here's a sec. All right. So yeah. It's been. I haven't really talked about it too much because it's kind of a personal matter, but yeah. Last was it Wednesday? Was my mom's last radiation treatment, and she's at the moment she's pretty free and clear of her cancer that she's had since March. So, you know, pretty awesome, pretty excited about that. You know, good news. So
yeah. Let's be clear. Since March of last year.
Yeah.
And so basically, amidst all this coronavirus pandemic, we do have a piece of really great news. Aaron's mom is a warrior, and she just fucking beat cancer. So here is to her and all the cancer survivors and all the first responders on the front lines fighting the coronavirus right now. Here's to all of them as well.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, yeah.
Hey, thank you, man. No, I appreciate that.
Oh, no. Man, that's honestly, it's something that's been in the back of my head ever since you told me about it. Because my grandma was fighting it at the same time. And, yeah, you know, maybe one of these times, because I know, you know, you and I talked behind closed doors more or less about it a lot, and you know, I just want you to know that if you are ever down to talk about, you know, your experience and everything that happened with that over the past year, with all that on the podcast, because I know there's aspects of the story that I don't know too, and I think that's a story that would be really fucking helpful for a lot of people. You know, even people like me who have very close people who are going through very similar things and stuff like that. So, you know, if you ever felt up to something like that, and I know you already know this, but the fucking door is open for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. You know, that's awesome to hear. You know, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to have that kind of a conversation on something like this, but I'll say that, you know, it's definitely, you know, changed my perspective on a lot of things over the last 2 years really. Like it's been, you know, just it's been a long road, and that was kind of the, you know, the one big turning point as of, like, you know, last summer and stuff, and so it's taken me a long time to kind of, you know, realize, you know, how significant it is and just how big of a life change it is and everything, and so but, you know, not to get too much into it, you know, it's just nice to have that, you know, that positivity and that good thing, you know, the good news to happen after,
my God,
you know, weeks and months of, you know, all this crazy stuff. And, you know, she was just finishing up all of her radiation stuff when the you know, when the big, like, you know, coronavirus stuff started happening and they shut down all the hospitals and stuff, and like her last treatment was like none of us could even go up there and, like, you know, see her, like, finish her last one because they have the, you know, hospitals locked down so much. So so yeah, it's just, you know, it's just cool to have that, you know, that positivity and that, you know, that good news to come out of it. So I'm super proud of her. You know, I love her. She's a fighter. So
she's a warrior. Fucking. No, I fucking like, you know, I'm not. I don't even think I've ever been formally introduced to your mother. I may have seen her at one of your shows. I've met your dad, but I don't think I've met your mom. I'm not even in your family, and hearing that news made me feel so fucking good that day. because with everything that's been going on, that glimmer of hope and good news was really fantastic. Like that, holy shit! Like man, like that's because I know how it was affecting you and your family, and it was you moved back home and everything, and fucking it's yeah, it's that was really fucking heartwarming and a very great piece, much needed piece of positivity during this time for sure. So yeah, she's a goddamn warrior. It's probably because of all your heavy metal drum playing that she's heard over the years. She could beat that shit. Holy fuck, man. Fantastic. Fantastic. So yeah, maybe we'll delve more into that in the future, but ultimately it's nothing but good news, and that's fucking awesome. So I cannot fathom of a higher note to to end on, honestly, considering the current pan fucking demic situation. Honestly, there's been no new not a lot of been metal news in the past since we last talked or anything. So yeah, that's it's kind of the best piece of news we got.
Yeah, and it's something that we've been waiting for a long time. So it's definitely a nice sigh of relief, I guess. I mean, still got a little ways to go as far as the remission and stuff, but I mean it's looking up, so it's just makes me happy. So
and it's
I appreciate you, man.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! And it's fucking it's metal as fuck because she beat cancer right around the same time Dave Mustaine did.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's metal it's metal. I consider that metal news, motherfuckers. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. But obviously we talk every day, so I'll talk to you soon. And yeah, thanks for picking up and doing a quarantine check with me. I'm glad everybody over there is doing good. Even though I may not have formally met everyone, give everyone my love. And fucking yeah, man. Fucking I will talk to you again very, very soon. And hopefully I will see you again very, very soon as well.
Right on. Yeah, it's good to hear from you. Hopefully I can get over there at some point within the next couple weeks, maybe.
Right.
With everything else, but I definitely appreciate you. Keeping me in the loop, and dude, it's been tough to not have plan to do podcasts every week, at least once a week. So it's so yeah, just I don't know. It's good to hear from you. So I'm glad everything's going all right for you, and healthy, and just I don't know. It's best news. So
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, man. You too. And yeah, I will. Honestly, I'll probably talk to you later tonight. So
right on.
Hell yeah. All right, buddy. You stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Oh man. As you people heard, my phone was dying during that one. Holy shit, that was crazy. God, 2.5 hours. I did not expect this one to go on this long. That's for sure. But I'm glad it did. This was a great podcast. Man, that was kind of a roller coaster. Kind of a roller coaster of a podcast, wasn't it? We went through some ups and downs, but you know what? That's gonna be it. Take one more little snoochie boochie here, some little shabam, some fucking jacuzzin, jadoogan, fucking off this shabooty, but yeah, man, it's it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time, and I hope everybody's listening to podcasts, watching the shows, listening to music they love, supporting the artists that they love, reaching out to the people that they love. Now is the time for love, positivity, gratitude towards everyone. And now's the time. Now's the time to be superhuman. You know what I'm saying? Now's the time that the Captain Americas, the Supermans, the Wonder Womans, the Captain Marvels, the Iron Mans, the Batmans, the Batwomans, all of them. Fucking. Now is the time the superheroes show up. So be one. Be one if you can, and if you can't, just be the one. Be one for the people around you. You know what I mean? Don't go out and just protect, and do what you can. So it's a crazy time. But there's no reason to be down about it. There's no, I mean, I understand a lot of people, hardships. Me too. I'm fucking right there. I'm out of the job too. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. I don't know how I'm going to do all this stuff. But we're going to get through it. We're going to do this. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it together. We're going to do it collectively, even if we're not in communication. Maybe if you're hearing this, if you're hearing my voice, reach out. We can talk. I'm more than happy to talk to any of my listeners, and we'll get through this shit together. I promise you. Yeah, that's all I got, and I hope you guys enjoyed all the guests phone calls that I had tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying some new music. I hope you guys are enjoying some shows and movies, and reach out. Tell me what you're watching. Tell me what you're getting caught up on. Tell me what you're listening to. I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to follow and support all your favorite bands on things like Indie Merch Store, Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, fucking Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play or Google Music or whatever the fuck. Everything. Stream it. Purchase it. Buy the merch. Stream it if you can't buy the merch. Do whatever you can to support the things that you love right now, because everybody needs it. That's for sure. Everybody is shut down just the same as everybody. So now's the time. That is for sure. Now's the time to come together. Now is the time to be one. Now is the time to rise. We will rise, in the words of Arch Enemy. So here's to Arch Enemy. Here's to all of us. And here's to coming together. Take a sip, my friends, with me. Last one of the night. Last one of the night. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Raise your fucking horns. Never stop banging your heads. I love you all to death. Stay healthy. Stay safe. We will be back again very soon. I love you all to death. Good night.